Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
We're taking a live look over the harbor right now. It is a beautiful start to your Sunday morning. Thank you so much for being here on this September 4th. I'm Shannon Lilly. Well, we want to get you right over to your forecast with meteorologist Jasmine Lomax. Jasmine, it's a holiday weekend. Can people spend it outdoors?
Oh, yeah. Today they can, but tomorrow things get a little more shaky as we're looking at our next chance for a few showers and possibly storms. Now we're off to a dry start, but quickly heating up. Current temperatures sit at 80 over Towson with mostly cloudy skies now. It feels like it's 82, so it's already starting to feel a little bit muggy. Winds are out of the south-southwest around 5 miles per hour. And across the rest of the state, we're mainly seeing temperatures in the 70s and the 80s. California, Cambridge, and Salisbury, all the hot spots currently at 81 degrees. And the rest of us, we're going to see those numbers continue to reach the 80s, in some areas even the 90s by the afternoon. We're looking at highs in the upper 80s, which is above average for this time of year. But if you're waiting for those lower numbers, they come on Labor Day. Mid-80s with the chance for a few showers and storms. And then we have more rain on the way on Tuesday, but notice temperatures in the low 80s. I'll let you know how long these lower temperatures last, and I'll time out the rain coming up in my Weather Authority forecast. Back to you.
Sounds good, Jasmine. Thanks. The victim has been identified in Friday's deadly shooting outside Mervo High School. A 17-year-old is now charged with his murder. Police are still investigating what sparked the fatal encounter between two teenage students. Riel Creighton has the latest.
Investigators combing the campus Friday, a community in mourning. Tonight, as the victim of a deadly daytime shooting here at Mervo High, known to most as Mervo, is identified. Another student sharing this picture of Jeremiah Brogdon, the 17-year-old shot in the parking lot of his high school. The junior football player, his team tweeting out this message. Our hearts are heavy today as we mourn the loss of our student athlete Jeremiah Brogdon. Senseless and unexplainable. Just after 2:30, his murder at Mervo happening right at dismissal. A 15-year-old telling us off camera they watched it all unfold.
Someone shooting. And I just saw the kids like dispersed all over the place. They were just running from here and there, left and right. So I'm just looking like, and I didn't see anyone, just kids running.
People who live near the school describing the panic that broke out in the moments after the gunfire. A 17-year-old student who attended a different high school, now charged with first-degree murder. Fox 45 News is not identifying him because of his age. Police say he confronted Brogdon outside after a brief encounter, pulled a gun and fired. Witnesses say the teen was shot in the head as the suspect fled. City Schools police already on school grounds catching him within minutes. They also recovered a gun.
Beyond tragic, happening on the grounds of a school.
City and school officials flooding this scene Friday.
In the beginning of the school year as school is open.
Emotion high.
This is a tragedy that almost has me at a loss for words.
The same high school Mayor Brandon Scott graduated from.
A school full of children who are crying yet again because they lost another classmate.
Mervo students calling it a high-security school with a history of violence. Now, so many of them witnesses, kids facing the trauma, the murder of a teenager, a fellow student, to mark the end to the first week of school.
That was our Riel Creighton reporting. City School CEO Dr. Sonia Santelises said the school's safety plan was in place at the time of the shooting, which is why police were able to catch the suspect so quickly. Meantime, she also says grief counselors will be in place at the school. At least a dozen guns were seized from city schools over the past year, including 4 ghost guns. But at a recent city council meeting to discuss school safety, the topic of guns was not brought up. So Fox 45 took those questions to council members, again asking where leaders need to step up to help protect Baltimore's children. In a conversation with our Keith Daniels, Councilman Robert Stokes says the solution isn't very simple.
So that has to come from Annapolis.
Right, but will you be pressuring the local school board to pressure those people in Annapolis?
I will call each individual on the school board and have a conversation with them about that. Absolutely.
Well, the devastating shooting of a Mervo High schooler comes as a shock for students during what should be a time of optimism. Shelley Orman looks at what Baltimore faith leaders believe can be done to stop the violence and save lives.
You can hear the panic.
This is school police. They're on the parking lot and they need a medic for a victim.
Orioles High, we are in the back parking lot of Mervo. We are on Tivoli in the back parking lot. He is shot in the head.
A Mervo High School student murdered in the school parking lot, shot by a student who police say attends a different school. The violence happening after an argument Friday as classes dismissed.
Both have enough of an argument that one goes and gets a gun, leaves their school, comes to another, and kills somebody in front of witnesses. Logic, ration, emotion, conscience, all of that is gone.
If we're talking about conflict resolution, if that's the justification and explanation for this young man's behavior and his choice, then conflict resolution is first learned in the home.
Shannon Wright and PM Smith are both pastors in Baltimore.
What is going on in our city that children, babies, still babies, are in a place where they think that's okay. That's the way to solve your problem.
As a result of this, you got two young men whose lives are lost, two mothers whose hearts are broken, two families who are destroyed by the loss of that death.
Both are calling for more from parents.
We need parents to step up.
Consequences for bad choices are learned in the family.
Parents need to parent, the police need to police, the teachers need to teach, and the leaders need to lead.
And both also say city leaders are failing.
They have shown that they are not up to the task. It is up to each of us individually as residents to be able to be a part of the solution. We need to make sure that we have school resource officers that are armed in the buildings. I know a lot of folks say we don't want that around our babies, but our babies are already bringing it into school, and prevention is better than cure.
Because this shooting happened outside the school, officers were armed. They're not allowed to carry guns inside the buildings.
If this assault had occurred 30 minutes earlier, the Baltimore City School Police would have been in the building without a weapon.
Pastor Smith says officers should be commended for their actions Friday.
They responded immediately. They caught the young man. They arrested him without incident. They secured the weapon. They cleared the murder scene and rendered assistance to the young man who was injured. Let the police, the school police do what they're willing to do. Stop handcuffing our police officers and let them do what they're willing to do. Our officers, our public office holders, are words and not action, and that's not enough.
Shelley Orman, Fox 45 News.
We don't have to be that way. We can be better. We don't have to wait for someone else to do something. We don't have to point the finger and say who else is going to do something. We don't have to wait or post something on social media about how bad things are. Get up, get out there, get involved, get off your ass, and get involved with these young people. Because we can't keep seeing this over and over and over again.
Well, Mayor Brandon Scott, as you just heard, says violence prevention starts with more community outreach. The Mervo shooting isn't the first time we're hearing this kind of response from the mayor. He's promised to cut crime by 15% each year, but so far that has not happened.
People are just sick and tired of just words, of these pledges and promises and calls to action, using curse words to show your frustration. That doesn't make things better. And I think people are looking for an actual change in policy, for an actual change in results. And I just don't know that any of these murders shocks the conscience of our city leaders anymore.
That brings us to our question of the day. Do you think Mayor Brandon Scott is sending the right message to criminals in the city? So far, 99% of people who voted say no. You can weigh in by heading to foxbaltimore.com/vote. Last night, the Orioles came out on top. Coming up, what this means for their chance in the playoffs.
And if you're planning on spending any time outside, be prepared for hot temperatures as highs reach the upper 80s and the low 90s. I'll let you know how long these hot temperatures stick around and when we get a break from the heat coming up in my full forecast.
Let's go live now to Camden Yards as the fans celebrate an Orioles win following last night's game. This is the O's fourth win in a row as the team is vying for a playoff spot. Really, every game from here on out is now critical for the Orioles to make that dream become a reality. Some highlights about last night's game. More than 30,000 fans packed the stands at Camden Yards to cheer on the hometown team as the postseason push continues. Entering the night, the O's needed at least 2 more wins on top of the Blue Jays losing to help secure the final wild card spot. After a few home runs at Camden Yards, the O's won their 4th straight game, beating the Athletics 8-1. But since Blue Jays also won, they still need 2 more wins for a chance in the playoffs. Before the season ends, they play the Toronto Blue Jays 10 times. In other sports news, college football fans may finally get something they've wanted for a very long time: expanded playoffs. University presidents who oversee the college football playoffs have approved expansion to 12 teams, but the change won't take place until 2026. The current playoff model only has 4 teams in the playoff. That's led to disappointment in years where there's no consensus top 4. One group of Marylanders is turning back the clock. How a trip to the past is helping them gain a greater appreciation for life. And the Maryland State Fair rolls on, and we are getting a taste of the action. Look at that. Some of the award-winning dishes from a delicious day in Timonium coming right up. It's 10:43. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
This Fox 45 news segment is sponsored by Maryland Cycling Classic.
Well, have you ever wondered what life would have been like in Baltimore if you were born centuries earlier? Fox 45's Megan Gillen and photojournalist Chris Musil dig into the past to discover Baltimore's original story, and it's in a very unusual place.
1, 2, 3.
293 years of history.
All right, we're in business.
And when you go digging up the past...
That's a bird skull. Oh, no, it's a rat skull. It's a little rat.
You might find some skeletons in the closet.
Coming out?
I mean, toilet.
This is like our 2-year anniversary, actually, honestly. Ribby digging. So we've started with not knowing what the hell we were doing coming down. And they're built well. They're sturdy. Like, it's crazy to think about. You never would know these were here.
Evan Woodard,
I'm going to take some photos myself now.
an historian and relic hunter, digs up old outhouses.
All these homes that were once here, they're all now gone.
At least on the surface.
But in reality, like right below their feet, there's like these, huge holes that were once like someone's outhouse. This is where people lived at. This is where people, had their families. We can look at like old Sanborn maps and start mapping out everything, and we can measure it out to like an inch, and it'd be exactly where it needs to be at.
Today, his team is taking a deep dive down the hole.
No smell, thankfully. When they're this dry, they don't stink at all.
Plunging 15 to 30 feet underground in the Greater Baltimore Urban League parking lot.
It's an old neighborhood. It's a historically old neighborhood. I want to take you to a neighborhood that you've probably never been to.
A crowd of intrigued spectators gathers.
Most people have that curiosity. Like, what's under the ground? Who knows?
This is all by definition junk. Like, this isn't stuff that people wanted to save. And I don't know why that's so interesting now.
When we're at the bottom, it's like natural hard ground like you're standing on up there.
Piece by piece, history is unearthed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Not all finds are treasures.
Are those teeth back there?
Can I see? A dentist would sure like to clean those.
And some are downright creepy.
Look at the babies' faces, though. These are a little creepy, huh?
Oh, by little, you mean a lot. Oh, my God.
You're going to see that in your dreams?
But each brings a story to the table.
That is a large casing. That's like 1880s, 1890s.
It's Baltimore's story.
Corn, Mick, and
flavor you could add to cakes and stuff.
Bromo seltzer.
They're like in history. I like it. That's the whole point.
From bottles and bones to fine china.
We can find all the pieces for it. I mean, something that small, it's pretty unique. It has a pattern on it that we can figure out.
Found the other half of the It's so cool because you can just see how people lived and what they used.
Now people can actually see something come out of the ground and understand like what's happening, and they have an idea of what it's like.
Oh. Lessons that will live on.
We're actually documenting, going through the whole steps and logging everything. They can envision it when they're driving through now, seeing everything.
Imagining what life was like.
All right, cool, thanks.
Right here, so many years ago. In Baltimore,
we're done.
I'm Megan Gilland, Fox 45 News.
Just incredible. Well, from digging into the past to looking ahead at the forecast, let's get to meteorologist Jasmine Lomax. Jasmine, can we expect good digging weather?
It should be pretty nice digging weather if that's what you like to do. Well, today's a good day to do that. Whatever you're doing today, it's going to be pretty nice to spend some time outside as we end the last unofficial week of summer. Temperatures currently sit at 80 degrees over Baltimore with mostly cloudy skies. We're now seeing those heat indices a little bit higher than actual temperatures. It's starting to get a little more muggy, and that will continue throughout the afternoon. Winds are out of the south-southwest around 5 miles per hour, so we're also drawing in some warmer air. Temperatures across the state mainly in the 70s and in the 80s. As we go farther south, we do find higher temperatures around 81 in certain parts of the state. Today, we're looking at those high temperatures reaching the upper 80s and even the low 90s for some, which is going to keep us above average. But our temperatures do start to drop over the next few days. 86 for the high for Labor Day with the chance for a few showers and storms. Then as we head into Tuesday, temperatures around 80 degrees. Very low for this time of year. And finally, some numbers that are more like fall. We're keeping watch on this cold front. This will be our next weather maker, leading to showers and storms. You can already see some areas of rain associated with this front, and that's what's headed our way on Tuesday. But even before that, we have the chance for a few spotty showers and storms tomorrow. Today, though, we'll have more clouds move in as we head into the afternoon, but we stay dry. Then as we head into the morning tomorrow, starting off dry once again with those temperatures, starting off in the 70s. Then by the afternoon, we've got the chance for a few isolated showers and possible storms. Rain chances will increase overnight and then into the day on Tuesday. Expect a soggy day as many kids head back to school. We're looking at rain to start the morning, continuing throughout the afternoon. Tuesday will be the best chance for showers. Then we have another round of showers and possible storms heading into Wednesday. After that, we stay mostly dry as we finish out the weekend. We're also keeping watch on the Atlantic Basin. We're keeping an eye on Danielle, which is expected to remain over the open Atlantic, and it won't be a threat to the U.S. We're also watching Earl, which is expected to remain over the open Atlantic. It could lead to heavy rain across parts of the islands before making a curve back into the open Atlantic. If you are heading to the Maryland State Fair today, expect hot and humid conditions as highs reach the upper 80s and low 90s. It's going to feel more like the low 90s with the humidity factored in. But tomorrow temperatures fall, 86 for Labor Day with a chance for afternoon showers and storms, 80 with rain on Tuesday, 81 on Wednesday, then our temperatures start to rise, 83 on Thursday, 86 on Friday, and by Saturday we're staying mostly dry around 87. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jasmine. Well, it is weekend number 2 of the Maryland State Fair rolling on in, and it's all about the ponies. Our friends over at Horseland brought a few of their favorites to the fair, giving people an up-close look at what it takes to raise horses and prepare them to race. Our Amy Aronson caught up with Don Litz from Horseland to talk about the fair experience.
The main theme is for children to interact with animals, maybe for the first time in their lives.
Of course, I know you guys are about the same size, this little pony and this little girl here. They are so cute. And of course, we know this little guy wants to get back with his mama. They are bonded. You said you can find them in the same stall when you walk through?
You can see them. You can see them at the same stall. We have a lot of giveaways, stick horses for children to make, a lot of activities for children.
How cute. Well, plenty of cool things to check out, as you just saw, but what if you want something to eat? Don't worry, we got you covered. Amy also caught up with the guys from the Maryland Food Pavilion to check out some of the award-winning food offered at today's festivities, and it's going to make you hungry.
We won first place in the whole, this is a whole new thing for the Food Pavilion this year, coming up with something different. This is an open-faced grilled cheese sandwich with fried green tomatoes and a peach corn salsa.
Wow.
It's a meal all in itself.
I bet it is. Very clever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure lots went into preparing that.
It took a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and we got some great people who work with us who put it together, and everybody seems to love it. People are coming every day. One lady here has bought one every day this week.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay,
really
awesome.
great.
Okay, we're moving down the line. Let's talk about these nachos. Introduce yourself to everybody at home.
My name's Jeff Martinez, and we run Charm City Flats here in the Maryland Food Pavilion. And we were looking to create something that people could share here at the fair, so we came up with Mountain Nacho. It's all 3 of our meats: pulled pork, chicken, and taco beef, cheese, and all the fixins. Big enough for 3, 4, 5 people to share.
Family, yeah.
Well, from food to sports, today elite athletes will be descending on Baltimore to take part in the inaugural Maryland Cycling Classic. The field includes Olympians, Tour de France racers, and is expected to draw big crowds. Taking a look at that 120-mile course, the race will start in Baltimore County, then drop into the city through Falls Road. Maryland's Secretary of Commerce says this event will showcase the state as an ideal host for world-class sporting events. Now, it all starts today at 1:30 p.m. If you can't see the race in person, we have got you covered. You can watch our special coverage of the race on the CW Baltimore. A beautiful start to your Sunday, but what about for your holiday and into your work week? Meteorologist Jasmine Lomax has the answer for you coming up in her 10-day forecast.
We're off to a gorgeous morning with partly cloudy skies over the harbor, and we're quickly starting to heat up. Temperatures already in the 80s across many parts of the state. Our temperatures are heading to the upper 80s and even the low 90s in some areas, so very hot as we continue Labor Day weekend. Then tomorrow, 86, still above average for this time of year. There's the chance for a few afternoon showers and storms, but it won't be a washout. Tuesday will be a bit of a soggy day, though, as temperatures only reach the 80s. Our next cold front arrives. We'll stay in the low 80s on Wednesday with a chance for scattered showers. Then we start to dry out as we head into the end of the week. 83 on Thursday, 86 on Friday, 87 and back to those warm temperatures as we finish out the weekend. Heading into early next week, temperatures stay in the mid-80s.
All right. Well, we hope you are having a great holiday weekend and enjoy the rest of your day.